Hello everybody, my name is Sid and welcome to By Sid's Design, the channel. In May of 2025, I graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts with a concentration in graphic design and a minor in textile design, which puts me at about 4 months post-grad. And with all this free time that I've had, because I was always taking summer classes as well, I've rebuilt my portfolio website and have just been applying to a bunch of jobs. So as I continue on this job hunt and have all this open time, I thought it would be a great idea to start putting out some long-form design videos here and there. As an introduction, I wanted to do a portfolio review. So we're just going to cover my portfolio website where you can find most of my work and contact me. And this is what I would be sending to hopeful employers or collaborators or whatever it may be. So yeah, let's just hop right into it. Welcome to SydneyAustin.xyz. So I use a web building website called ReadyMag. It is a little bit of a learning curve, and by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. It's very daunting when you first start with it. It literally just starts as like a white screen that you're supposed to build out. So I've gone through a couple iterations of this website and I feel pretty proud with this current one that I've landed on. So my goal with this website was to make it very user-friendly. So if people aren't super tech savvy and they're reading, oh, graphic designer, musician, you can actually click on these words and it will take you to a page regarding both of those projects. As you can see, I also have some thumbnails here. If you hold the cursor over each of the thumbnails, it changes from this sepia tone to full color. And you can click on each of these thumbnails and it will take you to the page about that project. And these are just really some projects that I wanted to feature so people could get a good idea of who I am. Speaking of which, who is she? Let's scroll down. When you scroll down, my bio comes up. My name is Sydney, but my friends call me Sid. I'm a musician-born, designer-made Michigander based in Detroit. In May of 2025, I graduated from Wayne State University with a Bachelor of Fine Arts with a concentration in graphic design and minor in textile design. Before college, I spent my time traveling across Michigan and the US playing music. So that's a bit about me. I have some work history here. I have my education history. And if you keep scrolling, some more pics of me come up. This way you can just get a good idea of who I am if you've never met me before. So if we go back to the top and you see this about, it actually just takes you to an anchor point on the home landing page. I don't necessarily have an about page, but I feel like this works perfectly. So let's move over to projects. This main projects page has all of my different projects combined: music, textile stuff, illustration, graphic design, whatever. And then if you actually click on one of these specific areas, it will take you to that category of projects. So let's start with my graphic design projects. This is the little case study I did for my time at the Ann Arbor Summer Festival. I was a marketing and design intern there from March of 2024 to about like September. It's a summer festival, as it says in the name, so it's only a summertime internship. This is one of my most favorite pages on my website because of how interactive it is. I didn't create any of these brand guidelines, but I really made this to display that I am good at using the brand guidelines. So if we keep scrolling, here's some of my first work here, a little postcard that I did, some wireframe stories. I have this little iPhone mock-up that I think is really fun. I did the volunteer graphics here. Here is one of the biggest projects I did here. So this is only showing one story and one post graphic, but I actually had to do over 60 of each of those. So I think at the end it was like 130 versions of this all together. So that taught me so much about file organization, you guys. Like, not only all the pictures and everything, of course that's difficult because each artist gives you a bunch of different pictures, but also just like the names and the days that they're playing. My Google Doc was insane. I really like this image as well. I almost use this as a thumbnail for this whole case study, but I didn't think it was a good representation of like my time there, I guess. Movie slideshow section. So this movie slideshow would premiere before movies when they would air during the weekdays of the festival when it wasn't going super late and it was a more calm vibe. And this taught me a lot about working with multiple different brands guidelines. As you can see, I'm using a bunch of different logos here, and all of those logos had to be in a certain distance from another, and just the organization of it all was a lot. This internship taught me a lot, specifically because of my supervisor, Natalie Robbins. She was very, I don't know if picky's the right word to use, but I'm just gonna use it anyways, about placing of literally everything when it came to a graphic. And when I first started here, I was like, whoa, this girl's doing way too much. But now, since I have gone through my senior year and I'm graduated and I have a bit more experience under my belt, I get her. Okay, so yeah, that is the Ann Arbor Summer Festival. Another project I will show you is this Built to Last. This was my senior thesis, I'm calling it. My senior studio class had worked with this company called Fashion X Revolution, which pretty much puts on an event promoting sustainable fashion in different large cities across the world. And for this project, we had to create a book. We had to create a actual hanging sculpture piece made from recycled materials, and then a double ontology. And just so you guys can see what my sculpture was, it was this big circular thing hanging up there, and then my double ontology was these overalls. And I'm not gonna lie, this wasn't the best double ontology idea. The book project took so much time that I really rushed on the double ontology part. So I was trying to make a play on how, workwear in Detroit, because of auto jobs and everything, you have to wear workwear, but you oftentimes don't wear it outside of the job. This was my thinking at the time. And so this is like a designed pair of overalls. So here's the book I created. I'm really proud of this book. I did another book before this, like the year before in school, my junior year, but it was not as fleshed out as this was. And this Built to Last book was really covering the history of Detroit fashion and the influence of women in that fashion, specifically Black women. This is honestly, this first actual reading page is one of my favorite pages. I think these pictures are super cool and interesting. And then it goes into, companies that Carhartt acquired. Rosie the Riveter, of course, the most iconic figure of this arsenal of democracy time in Detroit. I think this picture is so cool with the Maurice Malone designs and Aaliyah in the t-shirt. It has some techno, of course. Nobody wants to be considered poor. Cartiers have the uncanny power to make you feel like you're not. Real life rose-colored glasses. Then the Black woman's legacy, because of course they are the blueprint. I'm so obsessed with these pictures of the Supremes. I actually just finished watching Pop Star Academy on Netflix. The whole idea of that Korean T and D, I feel like it really gets its roots from Motown. I mean, up on West Grand, Motown owned 5 houses, and each house had a different purpose. One for fashion and style, one for performance, one for recording and all this. And it literally was T&D, just not modern day. And I love this quote by Maxine Powell. I was polishing diamonds because everyone is beautiful, but it takes a little training to make them shine. And then towards the end, I conducted a little interview with Regular Clothing. Jordan is a designer here in Detroit, and she's actually in Paris Fashion Week Ones to Watch this October, so I'm super excited for her. So this was a cool thing to do. And then you keep going. I have Public Thrift, which is unfortunately now closed. And then I just kind of featured a list of woman-owned clothing brands, food, retail, and that kind of thing. This Verdura case study you can keep an eye out for on my page. Is going to be the first design brief video that I come out with for my new design brief series that I'm going to start. Keep your eye out there. Here is my 2025 calendar. It was just a little passion project that I made for a market last year. And I also made this one really interactive, so I love that. It's like a self-love calendar. These pictures a little bit pixelated, but whatever. And then you can actually flip through the calendars here. Gives you a big up close and personal look. Yeah, going back, let's go down. Here's some posters of mine if you wanted to see these really quick too. You can just kind of scroll through them. I have all of the names for them here. I'll show you my illustrations real quick too. Yeah, all of these were made on Procreate for the most part. Last one, I'll show you the drink posters. I actually have these hanging in my kitchen right now. So yeah, there's a couple of my projects. If you want to check out more, feel free to head over to my website, We can move down to music now. So my music page does differ a bit from the more digital projects that I do, just because I wanted that difference. It's completely separate from my graphic design stuff, besides I guess the album artworks that I make for all of this music stuff. This is a pretty old bio. I need to redo it, but I haven't released anything in a minute. I just wanted to feature it because it's important to me. Let's click on by then. It just kind of takes you to my music video here, which is nice. If you click that, you can go back. We can go to For a Girl. That goes to another video. Best Friend. I actually have pictures featured down here. And yeah, that's kind of my music stuff. If we go down to textile design, I will say this page needs some work. I do have some rugs that I've made that I want to feature and a couple other things, but this is just what I had immediately. So the When I Say I Love You, I Mean It t-shirt was something I made for a tour that I went on, opening for Modla Tour in like 22, I'm pretty sure. I sourced all these white t-shirts from the thrift store. I had to go around to a bunch of different ones because I was looking for t-shirts that had natural fibers in them. That way I could use natural dyes because that's all I was using at the time. So yeah, I made some t-shirts. I made over like $3,000 doing this. Here's my friend Rachel. She's so cute. I honestly miss this. I need to do something like this soon. It was just so much work. I didn't know what I was getting myself into until I was in it. Like, this whole bathtub was stained blue. It was bad. Now let's head over to my digital garden. I thought this would be a really cool place to just kind of like share the things that I like and the things that I'm passionate about. So I have my top 10 albums, and if you just hover over the thumbnail, it goes through a little slideshow of all those album covers. And then my monthly playlist, my favorite books and everything, it does the same thing. All these YouTube channels I have linked. Same with these websites, which if you are a designer and you haven't heard about these, you have to go check them out. They are very fun and useful. Don't pay attention to the movie selection as much because I'm not the most avid movie watcher. So yeah, this is my design portfolio on my website. I'm really proud of what this is, especially as I am applying to jobs now and don't have like the most experience under my belt. I feel like this is a pretty good starting point. If you guys are interested in how to use ReadyMag, I would be happy to make a little tutorial or at least walk through the behind the scenes of this website so you could see how it works. And yeah, keep an eye out for the design brief video that I will be posting probably within the week. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys are graphic designers and maybe you're just recently post-grad as well, but have a little portfolio, I would love for you to drop it in the comments. Let's give each other some nice constructive criticism, because I know that if you had just graduated this year the same way I did, that means that you probably started during a pretty tumultuous time, COVID, and then all of the other stuff that's going on in the world. I don't know, for me personally, I had a lot of professors that were not really pushing the idea of critique, which was nice, but at the same time, I think I really could have benefited from it. So that being said, if you have any friendly feedback, constructive criticism, I would love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.